friends, it is time. I extend my hand, inviting you to step with me into fantasy. Release your hold on that which you know to be true, and let imagination rule for the next few hours. Last time, Conscript Group 14 once again found themselves battling the blue dragon Iazanth, the Sapphire Tempest. But their powers proved to be too much for it, as even as it fled, it was felled by an arrow shot by the mighty Rim. With no further impediments, they made their way towards a looming volcano, the fortress of Bel, the former ruler of Avernus. Appearing before him, they requested his aid against Archon the Cruel, the favored servant of Tiamat, Queen of the Dragons. After witnessing their battle prowess against several fire giants, Bel agreed to help the adventurers, provided they do something for him first. The task he has in mind would seem to involve none other than Islin Mizonre, who currently stands before you. "Anyone feel like a little burglary?" she says. "Conscript Group 14, what do you do?"
I look towards Typhon.
I do as well.
I feel like we
do
all do
too.
that slow
Yeah,
take
no.
to just like.
Just collectively.
So, just draw your attention here is, of course, Islin. The rest of you are still cast about the forge here, as Bel sits atop his floating throne, hovering over all of you, watching the bodies of the fire giants sort of smolder there.
If we're to follow in one's quiet footsteps on this type of venture, there is none other or none better to follow. I trust you've done your scouting, your research, you have your timing and your quarry examined.
Well, of course. Done quite a bit of work. And the task is not going to be easy, but I think there's a good chance it will succeed. And seeing as how this is what needs to happen in order to get the aid you want, perhaps we should retire to someplace a little less molten.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yes. I will say I'm typically used to cleaning up these types of things when they go awry, but something tells me a misstep in this particular situation will result in something much more permanent than a shattered ankle.
You very well may be right about that, Typhon. And the rest of you, good to see you again. Suppose it hasn't been that long, but much has happened.
I
For all
don't
of us.
think we've met.
Haven't we? Perhaps not. Islin Mizonre, how do you do?
Zelmira. And Zelmira extends a hand.
She takes it and shakes it.
Jax.
I well remember you, Jax.
Oh yeah, of course.
Although I'm looking a little less draconic. She looks over at you, Rim, and winks. And then, shall we? And begins walking up the metal steps.
I will follow.
We follow her, yeah.
Yes, she's scaled down her appearance.
She sort of
I
gestures
follow.
to you all to go past her, and then she bows to Bel.
So, is there any way for me to know where I am in, like, marching order?
Well, you're right here.
Yay! It wasn't there when I looked last time. Sir.
But it's less important what the marching order is, rather than you do leave this area. Bel.
I was going to ask somebody something based
Oh,
on
go right ahead.
proximity.
Oh.
That's the only reason I
If you
wanted
wish to be
know.
close to someone, then you can be close to someone. There is no need to stand on any sort of order in terms of you're all sort of moving in a group, following after.
Okay. So Zelmira is going to sidle up to Alias and just say, hopefully in a voice that is not audible to anyone but him. So is she a friend of yours?
Great one
Of
to
the
ask.
party? Or?
I was gonna say interesting choice.
She's certainly a friend of Typhon's, but I would trust her no more than I would Smiler or Mahadi himself.
Interesting. Okay, thanks. And she continues on.
She leads you up the iron staircase, spiraling up out of the intense heat of Bell's Forge into the intense heat of Bell's Fortress. Once again, these caverns, these obsidian, these black glass cut caverns extend in many directions, and as you follow her, you quickly become hopelessly lost. You see numerous devils, especially the horned devils that you saw before, the tall, lithe creatures that look somewhat fawn-like with flattened faces and long spiral horns and huge black wings. But also numerous smaller devils, and also some creatures that look to be just normal humanoids moving about, all wrapped in dark cloaks, or some of them wearing very little. But you eventually come to a large door, which Eastland puts her hand on, opens up, revealing a hall of sorts, still cut out of the stone, but fashioned to be much more architectural as opposed to just a cavern. The floor appears to have been carved in such a way as to look like tile, and there are sconces from the walls, coming from the walls, that each have a faintly glowing red crystal in them, illumining this room, and the heat is a little less severe.
I will move towards Eastland and start a small conversation. Good to see you again.
Is it? Well, I think that both of us are a little happier the way things have been, wouldn't you say?
Indeed. So Bell is your patron of sorts.
I think it's safe to say that.
What is that like for you?
So far, it's been useful. I don't think I'd have survived without it.
Do you not fear that when you are no longer of use to him, that contract will no longer be at your advantage?
The contract I have with Bell is very specific, very binding, but very finite. I do a certain number of things for him, and I am released. If I don't do those things, well, that's when things get a little hairy. But as long as I do them, I'll be fine.
Is this a thing that can be read or examined by another? Is it in the public
Only
record,
very, very
so to say?
close friends.
I'll just have to try to get to that position then.
And she smiles and comes to stand in front of you all, and as she does, the door closes behind you, and you all see, joining you, Amanazro. Well, I would have to say that went very well, all things considered.
Was he watching the fight? He wasn't
Yes.
there, was he?
He was.
Oh.
Certainly not a lot of giant concerns with that.
But I would have to say that so far everything is moving in the direction that you would wish. You have
And yet,
potentially secured the aid of one of the more powerful creatures on Avernus. But, of course, there's a price. I trust that you will explain to us what that is. And he turns to Eastlyn, who says, "Indeed." And she waves her hand in the air, and before you, with a good deal of green tinge, but also other colors, she begins to craft an illusion that shows some very strange things. Namely, a long machine that appears to just be room after room after room, constructed of metal that are all connected. And at the very front of it is a massive, massive, screaming engine of sorts. This appears, and as she speaks, she points out various parts of it, sort of drawing attention to what it is that she's speaking. And this is what she says. Oops. Save that music for later.
While you're doing that, big thank you to an anonymous cheerer for 300 bits.
Yay!
And also an anonymous has gifted a sub as well to Furious 320. So thank you very much, whoever you are, mysterious person. That's a D6 inspiration, Sean.
All right, well, let's roll for that. Who gets stuff? At the top, we have a tie between Typhon and Rim. Gentlemen, would you care to roll?
Yeah.
No,
sure.
I'll just take it.
Spoken like an evil man.
Aha.
I'd actually prefer not to.
Oh.
Sorry, buddy.
All right, Rim, you've got a D6 inspiration. Needs to be used today, and it is non-transferable.
Oh, also, we completed a tier 1 hype train. So
Oh, fantastic.
that's an extra $5 gift card we'll give away at the end.
Very cool.
Halfway.
Thank you for all that participated in that, please. So, she says, the Minoran convoy is a behemoth of an infernal machine. It is made up of multiple metal compartments, each 20 feet wide and 50 feet long. These are connected to each other like links in a chain, with doorways at the front and back to allow for passage between them. All of these compartments are drawn by a massive infernal engine which consumes souls by the hundreds every minute. This engine generates a highly destructive magical field around the entire length of the machine, capable of cutting through absolutely anything. The Minoran convoy makes its own road wherever it goes. The convoy departs from the city of Dis on the second layer of Hell, on a schedule known only to the Archdukes of Hell. Its destination is Zario's flagship, Wrath Infinitus, wherever it should happen to be, usually near the front lines of the Blood War. It burrows up from Dis, creating a tunnel behind it which immediately begins to heal, but is nevertheless a brief gap in the defenses of Bator. Therefore, the convoy's arrival point on Avernus must always be random and far from any battle where the Tanari are. Fortunately, I know when and where the next convoy will appear. There are several points. It moves very fast, far faster than the Bloodstone. If the two were to be neck and neck, then the Minoran convoy would pull away at the rate of about 50 feet per minute. No, 50 feet per, well, she says, she wouldn't say round. 50 feet per 6 seconds. A constant magical field is being generated along the base of the train at a radius of 10 feet in every direction except up. Anything touching the ground in this area is disintegrated. The magic field is known to have a chaotic effect on all magic cast within 10 feet of it, applying to spells cast inside and around the compartments, but not on the roof. It also renders all telepathic communication impossible, which is a benefit to us, seeing as how many of the devils on this train will have telepathy at their disposal, useless to them as long as the field is active. If the train is stopped for any reason, Zariel will immediately become aware, and her flagship, Wrath Infinitus, will arrive in moments. This is to be avoided at all costs. As far as defenses are concerned, and she begins to point out the different places on the train. On the roof of each compartment will be an Ossiluth, also known as a bone devil, as well as a Barbazu, a bearded devil, controlling a device that sprays acidic sludge. There will be numerous devils and other formidable creatures within the train compartments, including a troop transport that could hold up to 50 devils. Probably another compartment to avoid. It is very likely that there will be at least one devil with a horn to raise an alarm in each compartment. In one of these compartments is the quarry. What Bell, or what I should say, wish to acquire on behalf of my patron. 4 supremely cold tanks, each of which contain a dozen infernal fuel rods, identical to the ones that you've already given to Bell. Once they are removed from these cold tanks, they become extremely volatile very quickly. Transportation magic will cause them to explode. They are magical in nature and very precious. The goal is to acquire 6 of these rods, no more, no less. The remaining rods must continue on their way to the Blood War. Casualties among the convoy defenders are acceptable to those that have put us on this path. Also, superficial damage to the train itself is permissible. This convoy will consist of 4 compartments, plus the engine. The 3rd compartment is the one that will contain the fuel rods. There are a few items here at your disposal, but no doubt that which you've already gathered will be powerful enough to overcome most of these obstacles. Just need a plan.
I
Any
assume,
questions?
based on your research, you have some suggestions as to where the vulnerabilities to this train might be.
It is designed to be without vulnerabilities. Our best chance is to, I think, arrive under some sort of cover, magical in nature, most likely. Attempt to deal with whatever obstacles are in our way in terms of enemies as quickly and as silently as possible. Get what we need and get out. Timing will be important, as the train will pull away if we spend too much time working. And once we depart the train, if we are not immediately picked up walking for any length of time on Avernus, especially with the fuel rods in our possession, well, that would be disastrous.
Is there anything that protects against scrying or other magical effects, such as this?
I am not aware of that, frankly. I know that the magical field is well documented to have chaotic effects on magic, but whether or not it would apply to this, I do not know. Any ideas, friends?
So the roof
It's
is
on fire.
The roof is on fire. The So just for clarity, the disintegration spell does not extend to the roof, but it goes how high up the train? Is it just in the bottom layer
Yeah.
and it just okay?
Think of that as the tracks. And if you were to fall off the train, as long as you manage to stay above 5 feet off the ground, then you don't have to worry. 5 feet and below, heading towards the ground, then you are subjected to the disintegration spell.
Okay. But if we were to jump off of or to the roof outside of the radius, we would not be affected.
As long as you didn't hit the ground.
Okay. And is there rooftop access into compartments?
That is not information that Eastland has. As far as she knows, the only way to get into the compartments is through the doors, but there may be others. It depends very much on what is being carried in the on the train.
Is this train contracted through Amtrak?
Yes.
Okay.
Are there hell indeed. Are there doors just between the cars, or are there hatches where the sort of artillery emplacements
She's not
are?
aware of any hatches. She knows that there's doors in between the cars. There may be hatches. But it's going to be very much dependent upon what happens to be in each of those cars. Whether there's a need for there to be a hatch on top.
Definitely not, mentioning Z and just reading chat for a second while we vamp or anything, or any
that's a
of the
great
capable watchers of this. So just extending this conversation.
There would be
So
hope that you guys can come up with your own plans, but if
Oh,
someone
no. The plan is that they want me to drive the
I've
train.
been doing it the whole time. Oh boy. I mean,
So we have the dust of disappearance, which would make all of us disappear for a significant amount of time, provided we choose not to attack. If we could do this, entirely silently. And we don't know
I
what
could-
compartment the rods. Oh, go ahead.
no, it's okay. I could potentially still teleport multiple people inside with some chance of error.
Well, right, yeah. So the wild magic, like that could go horribly, horribly wrong, right?
Teleporting into a movie.
I will ask Eastland, I say, your magic is still, though of a different source, is still bound by the laws of the weave. Have you any understanding of the range of these effects? Does it affect the effects that are generated by the caster, or are they made manifest based on the target? How does this take place?
These are unknowns. I know that I can definitely say that any magic cast within the effect of the chaotic nature of the field has a chance to go awry. I should say spells above a certain power have a chance to go awry. As far as things that are summoned, or effects that begin outside the field and then continue once coming in, I don't know.
Could I disguise myself as one of the horned devils? Like I'm supposed to be here, guys, because I do have disguise self.
I bark out in infernal, soldier, what are you doing here?
To me?
Clearly not going to work. Just kidding, yes.
To me? That's a good demonic voice. I like that. I like that a lot.
Sorry, I'm sick. I've got a cold. I'm supposed to be having 6 rods.
I swallowed a lizard.
I nearly threw out my voice a couple weeks in a row trying to do undead voices in Curse of Strahd.
Oh my god. Yeah, so
yeah.
I was floating that idea more out of out of character.
Definitely something useful. You know, if things go bad, or if you happen to walk into the room full of stormtroopers, looking like a
These are not the droids you're looking for.
exactly looking like a horn devil would probably help.
Also,
I'm thinking.
so the rods will explode if teleported.
Yes.
What if temporarily displaced? A demiplane, not teleported, yanked from one to another, but...
I'm not sure of that either, but I do know that if once removed from the cold, there is a scant amount of time before they explode anyway.
How large are these containers, and do they each contain 6, or do we need to remove them from...
Each container should contain more than 6.
And we can only take and only need and must take exactly 6 of them.
Yes.
Now, isn't that fun? How long will they survive? Falcon's mumbling to himself in the corner.
She is,
Herself.
yes.
Excuse me.
Falcon turns to the group and says, shouldn't we be able to put the rods inside the bag of holding? Wouldn't that at least keep them away from the heat of Avernus temporarily?
That's what I was going to
less
suggest.
to do with them being away from the heat of Avernus and more to do with the fact that they're no longer being kept cold.
I see. Are there storage compartments here that we would put them in once we got them here safely? And are they mobile?
There are devils at Bel's command that have great aptitude with cold.
Oh, we saw one.
In that case, when would we be able to summon one immediately once these are removed?
In the habit of summoning devils, Typhon?
Or we could simply bring one with us on
There
the
is-
Bloodstone.
There are multiple ways to summon a creature. One being calling it, drawing it, forcing it within the weave to a location of your desire. The other being simply requesting its presence and allowing it to come, especially if its master is aligned with the plan.
I would highly suggest not asking anything more of Bel than you already have.
Do we know exactly which compartment the rods are in?
The third one.
Third compartment. What happens if the compartments are detached from the train?
If anything is done to alert anyone on the train that has the ability to stop the train, they will stop the train.
Then they stop the train is stopped, Zariel shows up, and we're all dead.
Quite.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I have an idea. We can get enough of us inside. I was thinking of this earlier, and the nature of these rods did not seem applicable with my plan, but you, I look to Jax, seem quite applicable.
What's that mean?
Your bag of holding,
Oh, yes.
if we
It
can...
used to be full of gold.
Well, hopefully there's still room for 6 rods. If that is the case, if we can get you inside along with, well, likely me, perhaps Falkren as well. And with a little magic, pop you into a place. A demi-plane, as it were.
I've never been to a demi-plane.
And then
You were almost eaten by one, but
allow the
From that one.
allow the train to continue and then drop the spell. I'm talking about banishment. If Jax shoves these rods into his bag of holding, we banish him and then unbanish him once the train has gone. He will emerge in the exact spot as the train has continued along.
Islin narrows her eyes and says, well, that could certainly work. At least you make it sound like it would. What about resistance from within the compartment?
Well, I can also teleport myself. I would be useful in a fight.
Do you need to be able to see where you're teleporting to, Zelmira?
DM.
It would say on the on your character sheet. I do believe that is the case.
I thought so too. I just wanted to check.
But
Aren't there
Islin says-
windows on this stupid thing?
that
It was
brings up-
Amtrak.
That
That
brings
makes
up an
Falcon
interesting
look.
point,
No.
though. I am skilled in my own right, and my powers have grown, as you no doubt have noticed. However, I am not the best choice for dealing with problems quickly. If you encounter difficulty, that difficulty will need to be taken down very fast and very quietly. Now, quietly I can manage. Fast, perhaps not.
I could manage both.
To the point, I think I should be the one to drive, freeing the rest of you to participate in however way you feel is most beneficial to the success. However, if you think that is in error, then I'm happy to put myself at your disposal however you wish.
Does this field of chaos, once we are inside, assuming we get there, does it affect the inside of these compartments?
Yes, indeed. Any spell cast within the compartment is subjected to the chaos.
Any spell or spells of just a certain power?
She looks over and uses any spell of a certain power, and then she tink, clicks your holy symbol. Any spell.
Guys, what you got?
She go tinking her holy symbol.
If
Yeah,
anyone
there's
has the
the
ability to
white
make our
line.
infernal machine fly, this would be a good time to mention it.
We turned down that mod back at the Wandering
And
Emporium.
From my understanding of most spells, like similarly, like a door is something that's made up of multiple objects in the same way that a war machine is made up of many objects, and so
Yeah.
it's not a valid target for many of
Correct.
these spells.
Correct. However,
So-
Dust of Disappearance, I would rule, would cover it all.
Because
Yeah.
it affects every object, which
Every
means
object in
every
10
one
feet,
of
right.
multiple objects
Exactly.
in a certain area. Yeah.
For 2d4 minutes.
Yeah.
That's a lot of rounds
It is.
of Jose Cuervo. I don't know.
No, you're taking
You
your
know
shot.
what?
I got
Somewhere.
it. I got
I
it.
liked it. I liked it.
It was on in a place I was in today, and I couldn't. It stuck.
Well,
That's
all right. So
It got
I'm.
stuck.
So
Let me lay it out what I've heard so far, and you can add or subtract or decide. It's the plan appears to be to go where Eastland says that the convoy will arrive, and to, at the moment that it appears, use the dust of disappearance and go alongside the train, trying to keep up with it as best as you can, and get on board, either using fly or jumping or teleportation, whatever, what have you, avoiding the devils that are on top, and
if we
entering into the compartment and dealing with whatever you find there, and getting the object, the Maltese Falcon, giving it to Jax, having Jax put it in his
bag of holding,
and then using banishment, which is not technically teleportation, to send him back to the prime material plane with 6 incredibly explosive devices, and then once the train has passed, and then the rest of you exit the train, and once it has passed, to cancel the banishment, have him come back, and Bob's your uncle. That's the plan.
So, a couple questions about that logistically. If we banish him inside the train,
that's a powerful spell.
We can't unbanish him elsewhere, can we? Or
it's a concentration
He appears
spell.
in exactly the spot. So, I mean, it depends to the DM, but if the train is in motion, if you banish someone, they just stop there. The train continues, and then we can let the train go for as long as we want. And once
the banishment
concentration
is tied to the plane as opposed to whatever objects on the plane.
So
if it was on something that moves.
As soon as that's done, the train is, however far in the distance, you just unbanish him and he just drops wherever.
It's very clever. There's lots of steps to get to that point, but I'm inclined to let it work.
Where will you banish me, though? Inside the train?
Once you've loaded up the loot.
Isn't that where the issue is, though? Because you can't cast...
You can cast, but it's just going to be a little unpredictable.
Well,
but we also have 2 casters who can cast Banish. So if there's like a catastrophic failure, we can both make sure that we've prepared Banish.
What's stopping us from getting the rods going back up to the roof and flying off without, like, we're avoiding the disintegration?
Oh, I think the point was to try to get in, grab them, and then blip out as fast as possible, basically, because when we send Jackson to the compartment, we don't know what is going to be in there, and so if we try to run in and grab them and then try to run back out, there's a chance we may get into more conflict. Now,
also, sorry,
DM, if we use the dust of disappearance on ourselves to get onto the train, once we get into the compartments, is that gonna mess with the dust of disappearance?
As long as you don't attack.
Yeah.
But so the chaos magic doesn't affect anything that is already cast.
Eastland is not aware that she does not know if it does or if it doesn't.
Okay. So that's a problem to figure out when it becomes a problem. Got it.
And Zelmira, what do you think? She's scared. She's very scared.
I was typing my question and then you asked it and then I was trying to delete and then I couldn't unmute myself. So my question is this. So what is the because we can enter safely above the train, correct? Like, were we to somehow land ourselves on top of the train,
it would be very far away from the disintegration.
Right.
So
I will also go ahead, sorry.
Would there then be access to the compartment from above?
Eastland is not aware of there being any. It depends on very much on what kind of cars, what's being transported. If whatever's in the compartment requires a compartment, a entry hatch from above, then it will have one, but not all of them do.
Is Needle strong enough to cut through whatever?
Always find out.
I would also say that we were talking about going in the top. I do think that there are also devils riding the top of the train.
That's what I thought
with,
too.
like,
Yeah.
turrets and acid sprayers and stuff. So
Okay. I didn't. Yeah, I guess know
do
like
we
the
have
extent
do we have
of
any
their.
do we have any haste spells available?
I have not taken that one.
No.
It's super good.
Based
a
on the
lot of-
volatility of what could possibly happen on the train, I think getting in and getting out and getting off from the top might be safer.
And is our understanding that if they notice that this has happened, they will like turn the whole damn train around to try and...
Depends on how sneaky you are. If you manage to avoid letting anybody else know what, like if you do happen to walk in on the group of stormtroopers, if you manage to keep them from raising an alarm, then maybe everything's fine. If they do raise an alarm, well, then likely there will be consequences.
We'll just tell them they're performing tests. Yeah.
It's too bad we're trying to be stealthy. That little
I can
trick
make
with the
myself
dragon's
a-
nose would be nice.
Bearded devil. You can drop me on the top of the train.
Perhaps
Does
a nice exit platform, Typhon.
exit might be easier than ingress, really.
I'm suggesting that if banishment does not work, perhaps you could create a platform for us to jump onto while the train speeds away.
Certainly, yes.
Simply jumping off the side would not be pleasant.
Can you make it a slide? Because that'll be fun.
Yes, just put your hands in the air and yell "we," and everything will be fine.
We okay.
Quietly to yourself.
I can't shout it quietly, Rib.
Oh, yes, you can. I've heard your brain.
Huh?
It's very loud.
Oh, does that mean it's big?
Immense, Jax.
Immense.
So,
Very big, Jax.
It must be growing. It hurts sometimes. So I figure sometimes that's a bit growing.
right, we have to stop this conversation
okay.
right now.
Poor Jax.
Before it explodes.
Growing pains are part of life, little Jax.
Yes, if you could return to the point.
Part of me thinks because this train has to continue to the Blood War, we really have to attempt to take only what we need and leave the rest, and also not have them come for us. So if there are some guards near the rods, then we might need to neutralize one or two, but we have to do it quickly and quietly without alerting the rest, and then just get out. Either that or get out with, and just disable them to the point where by the time they raise the alarm, we're far enough away that we can get away. Is that a possibility? Is that like they've got enough at to the point where, well, they might have gotten something, but it's not that big of a deal because we still have, 56 rods to get to the Blood War, and it's better to be on time than to be executed for being late?
I mean, any plan we have could have things that go wrong.
Oh,
if they go wrong, then we should flee. But it sounds like it's doable. I would think that at the very least we should count on there being resistance in and amongst the rods themselves. The tanks that they are stored in, at any rate. But, assuming we can avoid all other dangers, then I see no reason why simply taking that which we've come for and leaving would necessitate the stopping of the train, which, again, is what we don't want to have happen.
No. So, I think that. Well, let me. Oops, I just closed my character sheet. So is anyone else capable of using, like, Dimension Door?
I can.
Can you?
I was going to ask, Typhon. If they're inside my magical bag, what happens if I teleport then?
Don't do it.
Oh, okay. I was asking what would happen if they're inside my bag.
Actually, in theory, that's
You
it's
would
just the
never be
entry
able
point.
to help that little child again.
I don't want to do that then.
Good.
You're awfully silent, Silas. Nothing to contribute?
At least as much as you, Islin.
I've done quite a bit.
Oh, yes, you killed the giants. Wait. You cozied up to a demon. Or a devil, sorry. Practicing with Typhon must have helped you out.
One does what one must. When
I got the
survival's on the line.
shade.
Oh yeah, they're not friends. I'll fill you in later somewhere.
Oh no, I knew they weren't friends. Liz did. Zalmira didn't.
I've held back on asking the important question. Rem, thank you so much.
Well, are there any questions, comments,
Jax.
or insults?
You can actually Dimension Door.
I can teleport, yes.
You're not understanding my question, you're not listening, or you don't understand. I'm going to go with you don't understand. Can you teleport to a location that you cannot see?
No.
Right.
Only where I can throw my blade to.
I could get us to a location that I cannot see.
I need to learn that.
Now, my plan is, as we approach the train, well, opening the door from within perhaps could, well, allow some of our invisible allies to fly in and help us. But what security is there? Well, I'm hoping it can be confounded by you. I can take one other creature with me in this teleportation, as long as I can judge the distance and have us both arrive properly. Then when the rest of us fly in, we distract, delay, and incapacitate as necessary while Jax loads these items up into his bag of holding. Then, Falkren, I believe it would be best if you use the banishment spell to remove Jax, allow him and send him to the material plane, quarry in hand. Once that is done, we secure anything else, make sure that nothing will be alerted for at least enough time that we are able to flee the scene. We unbanish Jax, and as long as I have a piece of the Bloodstone, I can then teleport the rest of us remaining inside back to the Bloodstone. And then we pick up Jax and make our way back to the Forge. I am hoping, Rim, that we can get to him quick enough that you can release your breath to give a blast of cold energy to lessen their thermal decay, and that perhaps a cone of cold from my own abilities can seal the deal once we have fully recovered everyone and on our way back. That is what I have calculated.
Excellent.
Islin, if Jax is going to be apprehending the rods, perhaps you can temporarily lend him your gloves.
What gloves?
Rim taps his journal on his arm and looks at her knowingly.
Make a persuasion check, Rim.
All right.
You can do it.
You gonna roll with your Kraken dice?
Oh, I probably should have, huh?
Well, hot beans. You
I
didn't
hit
do it.
All right, I'm gonna use my D6 inspiration.
Okay.
All right, that's a 14.
+1 because Typhon's in the room. I suggested. No, I didn't.
Does he really need them?
Yes.
You want to risk the chance if the difference could have been made by them. This is a delicate operation. Any advantage we can acquire could make the difference. It
And
would
I'm
be
going to be on that
temporary.
train.
Ooh, very well. You may borrow my gloves, Jax.
They're very pretty. What do they do?
They're helpful.
Oh. Helpful.
Very well. Any other questions?
Yes, what are these gloves?
They are, what are they called?
Gloves of
Gloves
thievery?
Gloves of Thievery, thank you.
Oh, what does that do?
She has,
Short
not given,
five
she has
twos.
not given them to you yet.
Okay.
But you can go ahead and put them on your character sheet, as she will give them to you
So,
when the time is nigh.
Islin, you would be driving.
If that is what everyone agrees is best use of my... I'm good at very many things, but quickly killing devils, I am not good at.
I don't
so
know
would it be
you.
all
and
the rest of us?
Sorry,
trust-
I didn't catch
sorry.
that, Silas.
Defer.
Okay.
Nope. I was just going to say to Eastlin that I don't know you and trust your estimation of your own skills as to where you'd be most useful. So.
Oh, I'd be useful in many places. I just think that the rest of you would be more useful in this situation than I.
I don't disagree from what you describe.
And somebody does need to drive the Bloodstone.
So, how would all of us get from the Bloodstone to this machine?
I recommend that we set a course ahead of it. It makes its own path, as Eastlin has so vividly described it. So,
Yes.
we make a way ahead, drive full speed in its course, and once I am within range to teleport within, we cast our necessary spells, and then I bring Jax and I inside and unlock. The rest of you can fly quickly, heading the opposite direction it is traveling. We meet it about at the Bloodstone. At that point, she can peel off from her course because our exit point will be behind.
I suppose
Its
dropping
course.
the Bloodstone right on top of the compartment would alert many things. We could land on it facing backwards. And then upon exiting, just drive. No.
Just drive over all the devils.
I don't think so, but I like where you went.
It'd be very effective in one point, but not particularly stealthy. You all look tired. Perhaps you'd care for a rest. We have about 12 hours before the convoy arrives.
Please.
This room is at your disposal. You're not confined to it, but I wouldn't recommend wandering.
You don't have to convince me any further.
Yes.
She comes walking around and brushes against you, Typhon, and says, I have private quarters nearby. And she steps out the door, closes it. leaves you alone with Amonazro. Well, this is exciting.
That's one word for it.
And where will you go, Amonazro?
I will be observing from a very safe distance. I have nothing to contribute to this that wouldn't simply be in the way.
Well, it's nice to know you're keeping watch.
Always.
DM, in the course of this long rest, or the next 12 hours, will I be able to recharge the staff?
You will.
Oh,
And Amonazro does say, raises an eyebrow and says, incidentally, speaking of watching, there is one that I have ceased to be able to see. I don't suppose any of you know what has become of Persephone.
well,
It is
If you
very
can-
odd. I have a relationship with her based on our previous agreement. I should be able to know where she is, but I cannot.
well, who in Avernus would be able to hide someone from you?
I can think of a few people.
And on the top of that list?
Smiler.
I don't think Smiler's on the top of anyone's list. Well, except maybe Zelmira's shit list. Zelmira?
Yeah, he would top that for sure.
I would sooner stab my own foot and endure the pain.
It's not that bad.
I highly doubt that Smiler has acquired the power necessary to shield someone from me in this way.
Would you know if she had perished?
I think so, but again, this is a new experience. If I don't feel where she is, anything could be happening to her, and I would have no way of knowing.
I see.
It is concerning. It implies that there are other forces with a keen interest on what is happening here.
Well, as no doubt you've noticed, we've made quite a name for ourselves in the brief time we've spent here.
We killed a dragon.
God, how long has it been?
Yes, killed a dragon.
They butchered it.
Well,
Not
I mean,
quite,
like a-
but
Big imp it was. Rim shot
I
it out of
find
the air.
myself wishing we had a dragon right now.
Oh.
On that, I'm afraid I cannot help you. Yet.
He said, yeah.
That he did, Jax.
Although, and he looks slowly at you, Typhon. Should you need to acquire a dragon, I do believe you have the means.
I want one.
Good night, everyone.
Could you get me a dragon, Typhon?
Oh my god, what a distraction that would be.
If it's just a distraction, I can handle that.
Like a dragon?
I'd like a dragon. As a pet.
Yeah, no, we understood, Jax. We understood why you want the dragon.
So, yeah.
Well, now I'm.
Do they eat rat kebab?
What are you thinking? What are you thinking, Peter?
No. Okay, so we have a orb of dragon kind, which Typhon has kind of kept mostly tucked away. One of the things is that you can use an action if you're attuned to it to summon every dragon within how many miles? Like
A huge amount.
500 miles or
I don't
something.
think it's every dragon.
And they're or to well, yeah. Let's look.
That sounds like a not great plan for any situation.
That sounds like a fantastic.
All
Oh,
direct-
holy
all-
shit!
Okay, you can call telepathic call that extends in all directions in 40 miles. Evil dragons in range feel compelled to come to the orb as soon as possible via the most direct route.
You know what? A staff blade is another name for a lance.
It's called a lance.
Hello.
It's a good idea. But I actually don't know if it's a good idea. It's a fun idea.
It is
So
a fun idea.
So that sounds to me like a fantastic. Things have gone totally belly up. We need a distraction. Here are some dragons. Now everyone get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, but the thing
It
is
gives you
it calls the
the
dragons,
dragons.
but they are not. There's it's basically like they feel like they have to come, but they don't care once they get there. They're just
Oh,
like,
yeah, no,
it's
yeah.
you mother. You know, it's like okay.
Oh, you can't
They're not
control them.
friendly once they
Nope.
get there. No,
No, yeah.
not
No,
even a
it's just
little.
No,
No.
they're evil dragons. Like they don't give a like yeah. They're
Yeah, it's basically like going and playing ding dong ditch at mobsters' houses. It's a bad idea.
Cool. Well-
once they get there, it's not a good
We've got
idea.
12 hours, so why don't we call them, farm them? We'll probably be level 13 and carry on doing this.
That's how it works. Yeah.
Is that no?
How it works. Please do that. Please.
And we'll
do
learn more when we come back from the break. Wait, no.
oh my god.
Oh, it is now
I will-
time
yeah.
to see to your physical needs, food and rest. There are
I'm
no
going to
beds,
Eastland's
there are no
place.
couches.
Just kidding.
However, there is
physical needs. Just kidding. It's bad.
indeed. However,
that was a terrible reference. I'm sorry.
So speaking of them physical needs, Typhon.
No, he is gonna go though. I'm not.
Is
You
he?
know, I'll not be. I'm not gonna be weird about it, but he will go.
all right. So
Jokes
no
aside.
tiny hut for you all. You must find
Not yet,
what-
at least.
That
so
is
I don't
so
know.
rude.
You must find what comfort you
He
can.
could be a 7-second snake. He could be back in a minute.
Does anybody have anything they wish to do or say other than Typhon?
Well, it's
Rim will look to Jax. Rim will look to Jax and say,
Did you say you were having headaches, Jax?
Yes, I have headaches
How frequently are they?
every day. It's where my brain's getting bigger.
How badly does it hurt, Jax?
Well, I'm not dead.
Grateful for that.
well that's not a very good scale for that, Jax.
Some
Like,
solid logic.
on a scale of 1 to 10, Jax, with like 10 being the worst pain you've ever felt in your life, how bad are your headaches?
About a 6.
How long do they last?
Pretty much all day.
Rim looks to Typhon and raises.
And Typhon is gone. He's just out of the room.
Oh, is he already? Did he already leave?
Fucking Typhon.
It's quite possible he has developed the mental faculties to now experience confusion and is equating it with pain.
Oh.
I'm a little bit.
I
more
assure you, mine is higher than a 6.
So that's a wizard types, you see.
And Typhon leaves the room.
All right. Anybody else?
Zelmira,
Yes.
I know our goblin friend is a bit odoriferous. Odoriferous? That's not a word.
I can't
Odorous.
hear you.
I'll take it.
Hey, I liked it.
Would you?
It's no worse than enhancificationite. So yeah.
I liked that.
I was proud
gonna
of
start
that one.
using
Thanks.
I'm worried about him. And I wouldn't request something like this lightly, but would you rub his head just a bit?
Well, it's not his feet, so yes. And she's going to make her way to Jax. But before she does, she turns to Rim over her shoulder and says, I actually have quite a fondness for him, despite his odiferousness. And she makes her way to Jax.
Odiferousite.
Ite?
It's like German. You just keep stacking on prefixes and suffixes
Odiferousite.
and makes it more.
All right, so you approach Jax, who is sitting, I assume, somewhere on the floor.
He's sitting there saying, "Oh, Devlin, what's that mean?"
Don't worry about it. So this is not a foot rub, but might I be able to help assuage some of your pain by rubbing your head, if you would let me?
Oh yes, it's very smooth.
It looks quite smooth. And Zelmira begins to rub her hands together, and as she rubs her hands together, they kind of begin to glow with a sort of almost like, they almost look like magma. Molten hot magma.
Yes, this technique that you learned at Infernal Rapture, I do believe.
She's gotta kill me.
No, don't be frightened. Don't be frightened.
And she incinerates your head.
And she puts her hands over the top of his head and begins to rub at his temples with the rest of her hands, kind of cradling the back of his head. And does this help you in any way? Does it relieve your pain?
It's very nice.
You make a medicine check. Tell me.
Dope. That's what I was hoping. I'm gonna use my Kraken dice.
Nice.
Hell yeah. Sorry, I'm just gonna keep holding this microphone because apparently when I put it down, it becomes a crackly boy. So.
Only when it's close, or when it's far, it's good.
Wait,
It's very kind of lounge singer-esque right now. I kind of dig it. It's just like, I'm gonna rub your head.
Time to roll some dice. Cracking dice. Fuck.
Come on, touch me, Mike.
I rolled a 3 plus 4 is Zeben.
A Zeben?
Zeben.
It's hot, Jax. it makes your eyes sting.
Is it hot or is it hot?
No, it's
Ew,
hot.
no.
It's the bad hot.
I'm gonna be physically ill.
Can I
You smell, and
So-
she's managed to ignite some of the hair in your ear.
I know.
And it's
You warming up my wax.
Yeah, warming up your wax.
I try to perform a maneuver which I spin around and swap my head for my feet hopefully without her noticing.
Is that a sleight of hand? Is that acrobatics? What is that even?
No, acrobatics. Could be, yeah.
Sleight of head.
You're like a break dancer, like spinning on top of your head.
Definitely going to be acrobatics.
Acrobatics. Let's go. Plus 13.
What in the world could that
16.
be?
Damn it. Oh, wait.
Spins around.
Wait.
Nope.
I'm going to add a D8 to that.
All right.
19.
He spins around, and your hands are places you never wanted your hands to go. Thank goodness the heat is already on. You're managing to cook away whatever bacteria and gruesome slimy things have managed to glom onto Jax's unbooted feet here amongst the plains of Avernus. Yeah.
Sorry,
Now that's
Zelmira.
better.
I can see a little red cap coming out from between the toes.
Ow!
It was burning my head.
You swear you do see a couple of things.
Oh, I'm
Often.
certain I do.
Couple ticks.
Zelmira. Ticks. Oh, frig.
Jax is very clean.
Sure.
She does that. She does that thing that she does, and that was very impressive. Yes.
Well, so Zelmira, at the end of that, yanks her hands away and just looks at him and goes, "That was foul play."
Sneaky.
Ugh,
They're quite. I will wash them. I promise.
But quite an impressive feat.
don't bother.
He was toeing the line with that one, though.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. It's time you've
Zelmira
all been
just
brought
kind
to
of
heel. So
Shakes
Nailed
her
it.
head and walks away.
I feel like we were having a really
I swear,
soulful
puns
discussion
must be
there,
his
but-
Achilles tendon.
I'm going to see if I've got any toe jam.
These types of things are Sean's arch nemesis. So.
There it is. There it is.
My god.
I don't know. I think they're his jam.
Hey, tread lightly.
Tread lightly. So Zelmira is going to step away from Jax and head back over to Rim.
She's very light on her feet.
She's very light on her feet, and so she walks over to Rim and she
love you guys, mean it.
Love you, mean it. She asks, "Did you happen to see what happened? I mean, I did what you requested." But...
Rim is shaking his head sadly, but he can't help but have smiles curling up at the corners of his mouth, and he just looks at you and says, "I'm sorry."
Not as sorry as I am. She gets 1,000-yard stare and just looks into the distance.
I swear, based on the color of those toenails, you might need some type of divine smite on a clipper.
Anyone who wants to help.
Does anybody else in this room in the middle of a volcano in the heart of hell have anything they need to do?
Oddly enough, Falkner would like to try to do divination.
Well, describe as setting this up, Falkner.
So while this entire event is being defeated, she takes her time and goes over to the corner. Goes over to the corner. I'm sorry, I'm trying to toe the line here. So
That's it.
go over to the corner.
And that's our stream. Thanks for
And
tuning in.
thank you so much for joining us tonight. That was so.
Join us next week. Oh, okay.
She goes over to the corner, sits down, and sort of puts the staff across as she sits cross-legged, and begins to hold her symbol, and then places her shield down in front of her. And she just begins to softly pray. And it comes out as sort of a half chant, half mantra, just sort of trying to clear her mind and get in touch with the powers that are available to her. See if she can seek out some answers.
All right. As the discussion of feet and heads and all such thing happens in the room around you, you tune it out and find yourself a place of quiet stillness. And you begin to reach. But immediately, as you send your thoughts out, there's a blanket of tar that weighs heavily upon you. It's as if you can feel the entire weight of the mountain, but more than that, of the trapped souls that are in and around it. Some of them physically present, some of them only held in absentia through some sort of deal. This is a place of deep corruption. The longer you stay here, the harder it will become to keep it from penetrating you. But with a supreme effort, one that you feel almost costs you a little bit of whatever it is that is most intrinsically you break through and send a needle-fine point of light questing for the vice and the nurturing presence of Ilmater. What would you like to ask?
Is the pain afflicted upon me the will of Ilmater? Must I suffer in order to bring peace to others?
That little dot of light seems to illumine some sort of room, chamber. You're not exactly sure what. And in its center, you can make out the silhouette of someone. A form, humanoid, but twisted. Joints pulled out of sockets and wrapped in uncomfortable ways. Head bowed. And it raises its head and looks at you. And slowly extends a shaking hand.
I take the hand.
It's warm and gentle, and it closes softly around you. And as it does, pain that you've been feeling for so long that you had forgotten that it was there drains away from you. And you watch the face of a frail but kindly humanoid man contort as he takes that pain of yours and brings it into himself. I can take on all the world's pain if it is given. But I could use some help, my daughter.
Then you shall have it. I know my enemy.
And he sighs in relief as he releases the pain back onto you. Dark times ahead for you, Falkron.
I know. I cannot choose what obstacles lie before me. I can only move forward.
I receive great comfort from my friends.
As do I. Though I fear one of them is lost.
Not lost, just in pain.
that I know what I must do. It is a great comfort to speak to you.
You have grown, and I am proud.
Thank you.
And with that, the connection begins to fade. The light dims. The person fades into the darkness, and you slowly sink back down into your own body. Heavier than before, but also happier.
God. I'm getting too old for this.
If there are anybody, is there anybody else who wishes to do anything before retiring? Well then,
Hand out rack
Typhon,
kebabs.
where do you go?
I find Eastland's quarters.
All right, they're nearby. And you open
Ooh,
the
they look
door,
nice.
and you see a room that is reminiscent of the dream that you shared. Although there is no pool, the colors are the same, and the scents are the same. And you see Eastland standing in a corner, wearing a long robe, and she sees you when you come in. She says, I wondered if I'd be seeing you.
It's been too long. We've spent more time apart, but in this place, it seems longer.
It really is terrible here, but make the right friends and you can almost enjoy yourself. But
You've
I'm
done
looking
well.
forward to leaving.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. And you've done well if all you say is true.
I suffered a great deal in order to obtain all that information. As bad as Avernus is, trust me, you don't wish to go any deeper into hell. But what of our agreement? You said before we were cut off last time that you agreed. You would come with me. We would build our lives away from here. The conclusion of this particular venture, it'll be time for me to go. And I'd like you to come with me.
Will you have enough, then?
No.
Will we have enough?
No, I suppose you deserve to know the nature of my arrangement. It's awfully private. But I am asking you to be a part of my life, which means you need to be a part of this as well. I found this, and she holds up her hand, and a dagger appears out of fiery steam on the body of a person who is clearly of importance and power. Just after Elturel fell, I recognized it as being a useful tool, and I took it, but immediately I became in contact with an individual who we are now currently both working for. He recognized in me something akin to potential and offered me a deal. Any humanoid I slay with this, their soul is immediately bound to hell, to Bel specifically. I owe him 100 of those by the end of 1 year and 1 day. So far I've taken 30. I feel confident I'll be able to take the rest before the year is over. It hasn't been that long since Eldarel fell, after all. So, as you see, a perfectly obtainable goal. At which point, well, we'll renegotiate. Perhaps he has more to offer. And if not, then we'll go our separate ways.
Eastland, one of the first times I saw you scouting the upper city, well, no one looking like you could have so easily blended into their pompous aristocracy. It was incredible.
It's a great deal like where I came from,
jobs.
believe it or not.
Well, regardless, it was in the park near some estate where they serve you the finest wine, playing on those dragon chess boards set up in stone like little monuments along the path. And I blamed it on you the first time. I lost 15 gold to one of those old men there. But it wasn't the distraction. You see, the first time I played, it was for fun. It was a close game, and oh, my victory in that dragon chess match was... It was... well... It was a beautiful thing, so I thought. And so the second match, we put money on it. And oh, I was even better. I took every mistake he made in the first match, exploited it. He came back near the end, indeed. Nearly beat me, but I took that to be luck. And so we doubled. No, we tripled down on the wager before. And I thought, desperate man. He was deep in his cups, so I thought. So I took another glass of wine and played that third game. Quadruple or nothing. I have never been so soundly defeated in a game of logic nor chance in my entire life. You may win this one. I am quite certain you will. And I will indeed help you to do so. But Bel has had millennia to trap his servants. Do not double down if it's not necessary. At least not right away.
Well, whatever he offers, I'm sure it will be difficult to pass up, but perhaps if I had the proper distraction.
So are you free to finish the tally once this job is complete?
Yes, there is a surprising dearth of humanoids here in Avernus. Makes it difficult to fulfill my debt, which is why I have specifically negotiated for transport back to Faerun at the conclusion of this. And you will be joining me, right?
Perhaps.
Oh, now's not a time for perhaps, Typhon. Remember what I offer. And she
That is only
points-
if I leave with you.
She points finger, and there's a book, very large, very thick brown leather cover that floats towards her, stops a few feet away. With this book, you will have access to the Citadel of Parchment. I'd like to think that I'm enough to keep your interest, and I'm going to try very hard to be that for you, Typhon, but this is what you want. And it's what I offer. Come with me at the conclusion of this adventure, this caper. Join me in Faerun and spend your life studying whatever you have the strength to study.
It is kind of you to offer temptation, Eastland, but you know. Stayed in Baldur's Gate so long. Cesspool.
Oh,
Were
we
not for you.
should go there.
And you should know by now. So as your 100 souls are a means to an end, so is the knowledge I acquire. Knowledge for knowledge's sake, a bony, desiccated old man, blind, with candles lit on an evening when he could be sipping wine with the most beautiful thing he's ever seen in his life. That is a fool I will not become. So I appreciate the temptation, but you are the thing I will seek before any citadel, library, treasure trove. And that is why El Turel will see me as its hero. So I can
You'll
have you
stay.
and the life we deserve. My terms, our terms. Not villains, but heroes.
You're changing the deal, Typhon. It's not something that usually goes over very well around here.
Then what is the deal, plainly?
The deal was as I stated. You come with me. You leave all of this vainglorious quest.
Is this part of your contract?
Would I lie?
Tell me plainly now, my little spider. Is it required of you to leave his service, to bring me with?
It makes certain things a great deal easier, but not required.
You know my mind. You always have. Speak to me again once we've completed this. I appreciate your clarity, such as it is.
Things were going so well.
I will
look forward to... Oh, please.
You are my one concern. That has always been the case. Who you are beholden to.
It will be fun to work with you again, Typhon. But I think it might be for the last time, unless you come to your senses.
Nothing could make that happen. Nothing.
Do you intend to stay, Typhon?
Is that an invitation?
That's a question from the DM.
Oh. Is it an invitation?
She is ambivalent. I will need a
It is
persuasion check if you wish to stay.
It is a so, and I'm like a little confused here because maybe I'm understanding it perfectly. Being forced into this situation that I guess I don't really understand
this job. This job that she's undertaking. Part of the job, what she's doing here is so that she can return to Faerun. She completes this, she gets to leave. She thought she had an arrangement with you to come with her in exchange for what she offered, and all that entails.
Okay.
Just to jump in, I don't think you ever officially said yes.
I didn't before, and I didn't now either.
You stopped the connection before you gave her an answer.
But you said yes, and then you stopped the connection.
No.
I didn't. I never agreed in the first place. Because
you're not beholden to it.
Couldn't possibly be a
signed.
misunderstanding there.
Nothing was
I also
signed.
didn't know if the appearance was basically Belle in her form, and I was agreeing to something very strange unwittingly, or
You never
if
know.
it was actually Eastland. So
You never know.
I guess the same in this too. I don't know. Sorry. This is difficult, but
What would Typhon do? Just put it in that context.
Vanish.
I said, he will say, I will go with you. I only hope that before then, you can fully see the grandness of my schemes. Remember, to Baldur's Gate, to the ruins of Elturel plunging down to these very grounds we stand upon. And now, how unlikely, how insurmountable the task. Look where we were and look at me now. Before you judge me a fool.
No, you're not a fool. But that doesn't mean you're not wrong.
I will go with you, Eastland, my spider. The time comes. But now, I best be sure that others are up to snuff. They're not so comfortable here. And I would
Surely they
not
can
want
do
an
without you
errant
for
blade,
one.
arrow, nor spell to leave you stranded
Surely
beneath the path of that
Be
place.
without you for one night?
You would think.
They are guests of Bel. no harm will come to them unless they seek it out. Something to drink.
In that case, we'll trust the rest of them to keep, well, the one who would be stupid enough to do something in his bedroll.
Silas.
His brain is growing.
Typhon will stay the night in Eastland's quarters.
Very nice. Well then, as she is pouring the wine, looking at you suggestively, we will fade to black on Typhon and Eastland. And that will be where we end the first half of our session. The party has a plan in place to bring their infernal machine to where a massive machine, for want of a better word, a train, is going to appear on Avernus. Try to board this heavily guarded and dangerous train, acquire some fuel rods, infernal fuel rods that Bell needs for some reason, and make away without too many people or too many devils being the wiser. They've put together a plan that could work, and we will be joining that presently. But first, it is morning. Those of you who did not go to Eastland's private quarters had a fairly uncomfortable night, but you managed to get a long rest nonetheless.
Yeah, whose fault is that, Typhon?
That is
Typhon,
normal. His
when you
selfish
wake-
self didn't invite anyone else to the party.
When you awake, Eastland is gone. But there is food and refreshment for you, and a note that says, "I will see you soon."
Did a C and a U, or did she write out CU?
You wrote it out.
See you
Fancy
soon,
infernal
XOXO.
Big flowing scripts, yes.
Rim will walk to Falkrin and place a claw on her shoulder and say,
Falkrin, may I have the sending stone?
You may. Be careful, Rim.
This is not a conversation I'm concerned about being overheard.
I understand.
I'm worried about Jax, and I want to ask Corcoran if he knows something.
Yes. I've been thinking about that myself as well. I would please inquire.
So Rim will hold the stone in his hands and he will say, Jack's growing stronger, psychic blades and telepathic abilities, but constant headaches, also stinkier than usual. Worried for his health, want to ameliorate pain. Please advise.
All right, there's a brief pause. And then...
Thank the gods you're still alive. Oh, damn. Right. Great turmoil amongst followers of Torm. Eldorel delaying action nearly expended. Oh, Jax is dying. I don't want to die.
And that's the end of the message.
Well, fuck.
What is it, Rim?
2 bits of bad news. Our delay of Elturel's descent is not going to be for much longer. We must make haste. And I have to admit feeling worse about sharing this news. Jax is dying.
And I'm making sure that Jax is not in earshot when I say this.
What do you mean?
Those were the only words I was given by Corcoran. believe he must have known this before he put Jax into our care.
Is that moment that Typhon returns?
Good morning, all. Have you spent time thinking of what you will prepare for today? This endeavor is going to be taxing and difficult.
What did you think about preparing?
Liz, your
Ooh,
mic's
Liz, your mic is out of control.
What happened?
That's better.
What? Wait,
do that.
what's it like?
gone. While we're cutting to that, yeah. So you heard that. Imagine
Character
that, but a
choice.
lot worse. Big thank you to Blue Box RPG for 1,000 bits. Thank you very much, guys.
Whoa!
Guys, much like us, there is a few fantastic streamers around, and Blue Box RPG are one of those as well. So please head over, send them a follow as well. So we love them, and it's a really good partnership we've got going on with them and others. So thank you very much for the 1,000 bits, John. Much appreciated.
Also, is this better?
Really quiet.
Bit better.
But, yeah.
Damn it!
Anyway, what were you going to say, Zelmira?
Zelmira is. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well enough.
Zelmira is fully salty over the fact that she was not able to sleep in a comfy, warm little hut. And so.
It's a tiny hut.
I said it's little.
This is
It's
big.
like, is it like a tiny house?
Yes, it is. It's
It's
exactly
Eight of
just
us
big.
in a tiny house.
That's what I'm imagining.
God.
Oh no!
But
oh no!
yeah, she wants to know what Typhon's prepared.
I have been sure to prepare every utility spell, those which generate cold, as well as teleportation and movement abilities, and invisibilities.
Fair enough.
Do you have a water whip? Good.
The correct pronunciation is whip, and I do.
Can you freeze that water or do anything that produces cold as you harness the elements?
Well, my speciality is really fire, but I don't know, DM, can I?
I
Freeze
don't
it?
think that is
I don't think
an
so.
ability that you have.
Yeah, I think it's all fire related.
Really? Okay.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Morning,
Can you freeze
everyone.
my water whip?
You cannot freeze your water whip.
Can
You
Typhon?
have a separate source of cold could certainly, if you were to do the spells in tandem for whatever reason, it wouldn't really be a whip then. It would be more of like a long lance, but I would work something out.
Waterbine. Yeah.
Interesting.
Come now, Typhon. All we have to do is get things back to the Bloodstone, and then I'm sure there's a certain dark elf that could extend the coldness in her heart and freeze anything. Can we please move along?
I was going to say morning, Zelmira. That
Yes.
foot massage really, really helped my headaches.
I'm happy that you feel better, Jax, but the foot massage was not what I agreed to. So I'm a little chuffed.
Okay.
I just rolled a 16 in deception.
All right. There's a knock on the door, and Eastland stands there in full battle garb. She is wearing some sort of armor that doesn't appear to be made out of metal. It has more of a chitinous look to it, but it is black and looks very hard and opaque, not shiny. And she raises an eyebrow and looks at you all in turn and says, "Ready?"
Yes.
Let's do some crime.
Just quickly, big thank you to MCR Music 3 for 300 bits and for resubscribing. So we've got a healing potion there from Blue Box and a D6 inspiration.
All right, well, let's roll that
Thank you
stuff,
very much, my
y'all.
friends.
I found a
And
nice
we officially
ability.
get long rest, right?
Yes, officially get long rest.
Confirmed.
Indeed.
That's an E for over.
My goodness.
But where have I put our game? All of my numerous tabs are open here. There it is.
And if you have not yet
Got it.
entered, please use exclamation symbol giveaway.
So at the top of this, we have myself. That is going to be the 1,000 gifts. What is a D20? Correct.
No, that's a
D6.
healing potion.
Healing potion, yeah.
Healing potion. All right. Well, that will just be a healing potion that you all do not get. And then the next one is.
Falker and Rim. Nope.
Oh, yeah. We'll just go in order. That makes much more sense. Falcon and
Oh,
Rim.
no, it's fine.
Poor Silas. I've already gotten one today, so it can go to.
Oh yeah. So if you've already gotten one, then it would need to go to
Falkrin.
Fulgrin.
Isn't it Silas?
Falcon. Very
We've
well.
got 19.
And that's a D6 or is that a D20?
D6.
D6.
Lovely.
So what was the healing potion, Sean?
The healing potion went to me, and so it evaporated. Sorry.
Oh, that seems harsh.
It
does seem pretty
It is
harsh.
but this is hell. Speaking of which, you step outside of your quarters following Eastland, once again passing through the corridors, hearing the screams and cries, distant, but every now and then one echoes particularly close, and you wince as you feel like you can hear words or get an idea of the nature of the person making the cry. This is a place of horrible torment. And you move through the passages following Eastland until you finally reach the front of the fortress that is this volcano. And as you step out from within it, the air in Avernus is not that much cooler, but it is significantly more pleasant out here than it was inside the bowels of Bell's furnace, which is saying something. But of course, as you take a few steps, once again you feel the weight of this oppressive presence that just bears down upon you as if thousands upon thousands of heavy eyes are watching every move you make. And you approach the bloodstone, which appears to be in exactly the same condition as it was when you left the previous day. Eastland climbs on board and looks at you all and says, "Would you like me to drive now, or shall we wait until later?" Should take us about 2 hours to get there.
No, I think it'd be just fine if you drove now.
Very well. Take it away.
Did she give the gloves to Jax?
Not yet. She removes them, looking at you, one finger at a time, Rim. These had better be returned to me, little goblin.
Oh, yes.
Promise, Jax.
I promise.
She sits down and grabs the wheel and pulls the lever to activate it, and nothing happens. Oh dear. It would seem that you're out of fuel.
I'll put a coin in.
All right. In goes a coin. Another soul lost, and the infernal machine starts up, and she grins as you begin to speed away from the volcano. It isn't long before you see the banks of the Styx on your right side, and she makes a hard left, moving away from it perpendicularly, moving further east in Avernus than you've ever traveled. She travels for about 2 hours. During this time, I need anyone who is in possession of a soul coin to make a wisdom saving throw. Except for Typhon.
think he's the only one that has them now.
No, I still have one. All right. Wicked dice of the yay! 21 for the wisdom save.
+3.
+3 from Silas's paladin goodness. After 2 hours, she brings the machine to a stop, and she looks out over the barren wastes. In the far distance, you see something immense flying, but it is not moving towards you. Difficult to make out what it could be from here.
All right, so the plan is...
Looks out, she says, somewhere right over there. Perhaps 300, 400 yards.
And when it emerges, it'll be traveling towards us.
It could be traveling in whatever direction relative to us as you wish. I know where it should emerge. I can position us accordingly. Do you wish to be coming at it? Do you wish to be coming perpendicular to it? Do you wish to be going alongside it? Do you wish to be coming up behind it?
Well, we can't come up behind it because we're not fast enough.
Yeah, we won't catch it. I think the plan was to drive alongside it, and then as it started to pass us by, well, make ourselves invisible, then bring ourselves up
Very
alongside
well.
it.
We'll position ourselves so that we start a bit further down its path, moving along the same path, so as it comes close, it will overtake us.
Yeah.
And then...
Right. So I'm just trying to figure out does anyone else have the fly spell that they can cast or upcast? Can anyone fly?
Sadly, no. We do have the one potion, but...
Super. Okay.
Eastland can cast fly.
Well,
There we
look
go.
at her being helpful.
I have a giant fly.
No.
Unfortunately, I have given over that spell for others that are more useful.
That's
Okay.
I was excited I remembered something.
If we do summon the giant fly, can we have it just hang out and then go invisible as well?
It is up to you when you do these various things. The dust of disappearance will cover everything. So if it's there, then yeah, it'll be turned invisible. But it's dependent
So
on
we've got
timing and all this.
fly carrying. We've got a fly potion. That's 2. I think the plan was for Jax and I to go into the actual place while invisible.
Yeah, so you and
start.
Yeah, you and Jax are going to be teleported in, or are you flying up over it?
Teleported in. So then we need 4 flies. We got 2. I could upcast a fly to send to do the other 2, unless anyone else has an idea of how to fly.
Well, if I drink the potion and then carry someone. So that's
Well,
2.
I worry because it's moving really fast. If you're moving at half speed, that seems like a dangerous prospect. Right?
I see, and wise you are, yes.
I am.
So
very
Misty
wise.
Step wouldn't work.
It might if it's timed. If it's timed right, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Couldn't I
initiated
Misty
from
Step?
outside the field,
Yeah.
which said that it would, and you'd be teleporting in. Now,
That seems
any
good to
magic
me.
at all has a chance to go awry, as we heard. But nothing's going to
that's
explode.
my suggestion, at least for getting Zelmira up there.
All right.
Cool. So, I believe the plan is right. She's saying that at some point it's going to kind of break through into view, and that's
What she
exactly
says.
when we use the dust of disappearance,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe 5 to 10 seconds before we're within 30 feet of that third car, Jax and I will dimension door in. The next round is when everyone else will fly over.
Now, as when we considered attacking the towers, which have been repelling demons and devils for millions of years, the concept of invisibility. What happens if they can see us coming?
We go faster.
Then we'll just have to kill him. So
Just put
All of them, huh? Sure.
Kill all of hell.
I mean,
What we're doing,
opportunity.
I mean, look, we've been doing this for like over a year now, and I mean, so far it hasn't killed us.
Don't say. Hold on. I would not say such things.
If I were you.
I would not say such things if I were you.
All right.
Here lies Falkren Boneforge.
It is about that moment. Eastland's head rises up. She says, I think it's time.
Okay, Fly goes up, and then I cast Fly on Fulcrum and Rim. Silence, drink the potion.
All right. Those things happen.
Let's
Fulcrum.
get dusty.
Falkren looks to Rim and goes, I like flying.
You please tell me you have some like folksy music
Oh,
prepared
yeah,
for this
right.
train
Yeah,
heist.
totally have that.
Oh,
Come
yeah.
on, are you kidding me?
Take my love, take my
my
land,
land.
take me where I cannot stay.
Jeez. Oh, hold on a moment. Thank you.
To be honest, when
Right.
you said "let's get dusty," I thought about like the beginning of the cha-cha slide when it's like "let's get funky," but instead "let's get dusty, 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 dusty."
So,
And then there's Liz.
To the left, a little further to the left.
Yeah, right.
You missed the compartment.
Hop on the train now, y'all.
Get
the
damned
heat
this
of
time.
Avernus shimmers
Get
up from
damned
the
this
ground.
Damn this time.
Hey guys, let's focus up. Thank you. The heat of Avernus shimmers from the ground, desiccating your tongue and throat with every breath. The occasional breeze does nothing to alleviate your discomfort as it carries with it a mealy grit of bone and ash and the scent of rotting offal. Eastland looks at the horizon, her eyes wide. It's coming! And with a sucking roar, an enormous pit opens a few hundred feet from you, and a green light briefly emanates from within the dark maw before it. With a cacophonous sound of 1,000 screams of agony, the Minoran convoy blasts up from below and begins to streak across the land with a terrible speed. Never have you seen or even conceived of so large a vehicle. It is as if part of a city had decided to catapult itself across the ground faster than it could fall. Boulders and berms of infernal soil churn themselves to ash along its base as fire blasts from the massive engine at its head. A glowering death's head leads its charge, and a black fume of smoke darkens the sky above it. The chase, my friends, is on. So, you said catty corner, eh? Coming in from the side? Do you wish to be coming in from the right side or the left side?
From the top side, right?
So coming down?
Well,
we
it's
can't catch
catching
up to
with
it.
us, so we are going the opposite way, but it is going
Yeah, we
faster
gotta-
than us. So to allow it to overtake us, so we have the slowest progression of the train.
Yeah, but we're on the left side of
As
the
it
train or the
moves.
right side of the train?
as it moves. Yeah, but on the right, I think,
Okay.
and then just allow it to overtake us as it moves by. Right?
Alrighty. So, is Dust of Disappearance been used?
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm going to start you up here like this, coming at it at an angle like this. As each round goes by, I'm going to have it straighten out as you go further back. So, now, Dust of Disappearance is up, and as you get closer, you can see the field of energy flying underneath this machine, extending as expected 10 feet out on either side. Now, I will need somebody to roll 3d12, one at a time, please.
Do we know how long Dust of Disappearance is going to go for?
Somebody can roll 2d4 for me.
We used the
Got
dust. They should do it.
Oh,
Big fours, big fours.
4 minutes.
All right.
All right,
Be
4
worse.
minutes and counting.
40 rounds.
Should be enough.
Here's hoping.
Who's rolling those d12s?
All 3 d12s.
Mm-hmm.
One at a
Alright.
time.
All right.
Or all together, we can just
Alright.
count them. Number 1.
All right. First d12 is a 4.
Okay.
Second d12 is a 6. And the third d12 is a 12.
Okay.
4, 6, 12.
As you are approaching, immediately you recognize that there is something wrong. There are not 4 cars on this train. There are 5. Damn!
Thought
says
I
he.
saw that.
Does that mean they put an extra one at the end? Or one in the middle? Which car? And as you ponder that, you come closer as the train and you are now moving neck and neck, and you will start falling behind with each subsequent round.
So
Let's roll
Question-
some initiative.
So is the fact that it's the third car in the order is fact, correct?
Except we don't know if it's the third car in the order and there was a car added to the front of the train or the back of the train, or so like.
Right, but if it's if it was, or if it's just the third car, then it's the same if it's from the back or from the front.
That's one theory.
That's one theory.
And thus, the dungeon master has confounded things. Whatever shall
There
we
might
do?
be other things that have been confounded based on the dice you rolled.
Will it be odiferous?
Will it
That is a
be-
real word. I looked it up.
Yes,
I
it
think
is.
it'll
So
be
is onerous, and so is
onerous.
odorous. You're okay.
I was insecure for
But
a
will
moment.
it be enhancipated?
Height?
Ite.
Right.
Ite.
All right. So
All right. Eastland is driving. And I'm
God.
going to have her turn go on turn 1. She will be at the very end of the order, no matter what.
All right, lovely.
So did we have time to do Dust of Disappearance and fly and such too?
It sounded like
And we
you
have
all
the
cast
fly
your
out.
flies and did your
Yeah,
potions
yeah.
and such like that.
Cool.
That all happened. Dust of Disappearance has happened.
Great.
Now I've called for initiative, so all that has happened.
Excelente.
But we are now able to fly and invisible. So, friends, the plan is the plan. Third car, right?
So I feel like if they added another one at the end, which unless they did something else, that would be a crazy amount of work, which would be dumb. So
Regardless, it is
1,
Silas's
2,
turn.
3.
Silas,
Well,
what do you do?
okay.
I believe the appointed course of action is to move towards the train and move towards the third car from the front. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay, so you mentioned that to Eastland, and she nods and prepares to do just that. Do you want her to put on the brakes so that you immediately get there, or do you want her to just maintain position so that the
She
train
should
moves ahead
maintain.
of-
I can go the other direction and do calculus.
All right. So are you holding any kind of an action, any kind of a movement?
I am going to dodge, just in
Taking
case
the
anything
dodge
sees
action.
me, because I am paranoid.
You are paranoid and you are invisible. Blub. Blub. I'm going to give you all little ninja things on your turn. You're holding your action. And that's going to bring us to Typhon.
Now, DM, since we are departing the Bloodstone and we're going on to the train,
Mhm.
should we resize the?
I've got
token?
another map for when you get on
Very
the
good,
train.
thank you.
This is we will take care of this until people actually get on the
Yeah.
train. We will stay on this map. This is 10
Oh,
feet per square.
Yeah,
Obviously,
this is a Sean Anderson game. He's got maps on maps on maps.
it's the only way I can figure out how to do this. So,
Zelmira's next.
Zelmira's next.
she didn't
Yeah,
sort.
You need to do a quick resort.
Gotcha. I got it.
You saucy.
Zelmira,
news.
you're up.
So Is the train, the area in which I need to be teleporting, is that within view for me? Or will it be if I
Do you
time
wish
it
to?
correctly?
It depends on where you want to teleport. Do you want to teleport inside? If inside is what you want,
No.
then no.
I
On
can't
top
do
of
that.
the train,
Yeah.
yes. You could teleport to on top of the train.
And can we reiterate what the plan was?
I think that was discussed.
So the plan was first Jackson and I go and
Yes.
teleport inside to potentially open up one of the in-between doors before anyone else goes, and then on the next round, everyone who can fly joins us through the open door.
Oh, I thought it was like an immediate, you guys were going, and then...
No.
Yeah, I misunderstood.
That was understood, right? That's what we communicated, or at least...
If that is what you want.
Yeah, so then I'll just hold an action.
Which is...
Hold.
I will be telling you momentarily. I would like to hold Water Whip.
Holding Water Whip. Very well.
Yeah.
And the trigger, I assume, would be when you see a target that seems
Is
hostile?
Yep.
I will say that so far, nobody has seemed to have noticed you. The train is kicking up quite a fair amount of dust and debris, and it is hiding the plume that is extending behind your machine very nicely. However, if somebody thinks to look, they might see it. So don't give them a reason to. Typhon.
I will look to Eastland and say, as soon as we're off, break off. So we're not obvious. The rest of you, Jax and I are going now to try to open the door. We will go between the third and fourth cars in case they added another, but if it is the third from the back, then we will have easy access to that one. And I will say, do not attack anything that hasn't seen you. Our only action should be within the car if we can help it. Now. And if there's an alarm, silence it I'll make reference to the wand of silence, and I will point to whoever has it. And then
Who
I
does
will
have it?
cast Silas. Can you use this wand?
Should be somebody on the train, I would imagine. Should give it
We're
to
all going on
Fulcrum.
the train
Can I?
eventually.
Yeah.
Can I use that wand?
I believe anyone can use a wand, although that's
Just
something
making
I'm not
sure.
really sure. There have not been that many wands in my game. Yeah, I believe so.
This is a
Yeah,
wand of what
yeah.
you call it?
Of silence.
silence.
You can cast the silence spell.
If the DM says I can, then I can.
I'm going to say that any one of you can use this particular wand. It's just a question of who has it. You can use it 3 times.
All right. Cool.
You use the 3rd charge, there's a chance it could blow up.
Okay.
So, retconning to my turn, should I have used the wand?
Something to silence yet.
Yeah.
DM, who has been so very magnanimous in the past,
It doesn't sound like me.
it does. Shall
do
I
you
wait
need?
for my next turn to use that action?
I mean, you can do whatever you wish, of course, but unless there's something specific
Well, then I have
to
the rods.
silence.
We're done.
Yeah, unless there's something specifically to silence, you'd just be using it to silence,
Nothing.
Silence.
making silence somewhere. And the problem is that when you cast silence, it stays in that spot. So you
Yeah.
have to cast
Unless-
it on something. Like if you
Cast
cast
it
it
on
on
something, I was
something that's moving, then it stays. So yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well,
So I think your held action's a good one. Typhon, that
Okay, I should have read the thing more closely. We might need another turn to enact this. See if I can upcast this. Crap. Sorry guys, I should have thought of this earlier. I will use my action to. We'll need to wait another turn, because as soon as I cast Dimension Door, the dust of disappearance will drop.
It will drop.
So I will cast. But for that,
Good
we'll,
catch.
Just go. I will say, Zelmira, only come if there's an emergency. You will become visible as soon as you teleport. And I will cast greater invisibility behind myself.
Teleporting is not the only way to get on the train. Just, there's you can do other things.
Won't it start disintegrating our war machine if we get
will.
close enough to jump?
It will.
Okay. Well,
you could jump over the train and all jump from it. That'd be pretty cool.
Well,
how far is it from us?
If we attach ourselves to one of the the friggin' ballistas and just shoot ourselves. No.
Right. So
let's
what are you
continue
doing?
on our path, and I will cast greater invisibility upon myself. And
all right. So dust of disappearance drops for you, but greater invisibility has gone up, and you are concentrating on that.
Yes.
Alrighty.
And I will say
put a little clock on your token for me.
Can you cast fly though?
And that's going to bring us to Rim.
Rim is holding. I'm holding my movement for when the door is open.
Okay, Jax.
How far is it?
It's you're currently 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 60 feet away from it.
Well, I'm obviously grabbing on to Typhon, waiting for him to teleport us.
Okay, so holding on and basically just taking the dodge action, I assume?
Yeah, take the dodge action. I'm jumping on his back.
Falkren?
Falkren goes ahead and produces one of the platinum rings and hands it to Jax and says, "Here."
Make a perception check.
Well,
because
if you cast a spell, you'll become visible. Just so you know.
Well, all right then. That's interesting. Okay, well then. Okay, then Falcon will simply she'll hold the action for when Typhon and Jax leave, which I imagine they're going to give us some sort of vocal cue for, since we cannot see anybody.
And that gives us to the Bone Devils, and you can see that close to the Bone Devils, roughly the center of each one of these compartments is some sort of apparatus. Looks like a nozzle of some sort with a large bladder of something attached to it, and inside it is some sort of tiny creature. Difficult to make out from here what exactly it is, but at the
inside
end of this
the
turn, the Bloodstone falls 50 feet behind to here. Typhon, Silas, I'm going to assume that you're just going to put you there with them. And as of yet, the Bone Devils don't seem to have noticed anything. That's going to bring us back to the top of the order with Silas. Still invisible, still dodging. Okay, Zelmira.
Gonna move closer to the third car though, or stay in place, or whatever will make that happen.
Okay, so you'd be on the Bloodstone, but closer to it. So just holding there at the very back. That makes sense. Yeah, I imagine everybody is probably crowded around that area. Zelmira.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like I'm at a loss of what to do because I don't want to break invisibility. And I'm already holding an action.
Okay. Is that going to bring us to Typhon? Typhon, what is your plan now?
So we've still got a invisible fly.
Mm-hmm.
Who took the potion of flight? Rim? Yeah.
No, that was
Silas.
Okay. Is Silas strong enough to carry another?
He's certainly strong enough to carry Jax.
And I could
probably
carry
not
you.
strong enough to carry Rim. Possibly Falkren. Possibly Zelmira.
I can do it.
All right. I will then say, teleportation spells will not work.
What's the plan?
Silas, carry Falkren, and follow between the third and fourth cars. Go in the back of the third. And I will take Jax and teleport to the location behind the doors of the third car. If that makes sense.
Right. Yes, indeed. You teleport to there. Of course, that breaks Dust of Disappearance, but you have greater invisibility up. So I think now...
Dust is, broken.
Everybody,
anyway.
if you could do me a favor and remember what your number on the turn order is here, because when we go to another map, I'll bring it up, but I'll be able to see the order, but you won't. So we'll have to redo it. But I want to keep this same initiative. So over to the next map.
And just in case anyone missed it, it's in Discord in our private chat.
So, I mean, am I right in assuming that you do not see the turn order?
Correct.
Turn order is blank.
Alrighty, so I'm going to remove it, and now if you could all roll initiative and then click on your names and put in your correct initiative, please.
Right.
Should we drag our icons first?
Yeah, of course you should.
Oh, I want to keep that one.
I know, right?
No.
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 Oh, I rolled the same.
Oh, I want to keep that one too, man.
Children.
My new initiative is better.
Falcon casts wah.
Yeah. Somebody
Bonus
call the
action
ambulance. Okay, what? Stop it.
Alrighty. So this is actually a little
But it
larger
includes
than the.
That includes the baddies, I take it, who are at a 4, not a 15.
Yes, who are at the 4, right? Not the 15. So I think we're back to normal. And that brings us on Typhon's turn. He cast teleportation and teleported to you know where.
No, we don't. We don't know if it works.
You actually have no idea. He did say where he was going. There's a and then as you hear and feel Jax and Typhon leave your presence, and then Jax and Typhon, you find yourself right there, and you barely have enough presence of mind to steady yourselves as you find yourself standing on a very narrow platform. Rushing beneath you at about 2 feet away from your feet is this just turmoil of green energy that is just moving along, and occasionally it looks like it's actually trying to reach up and grab your feet.
I touch it.
That's going to bring us to Rim.
Do we get to hear what we see inside there?
You see before you a door that is completely iron,
so
with no windows, and a door
teleported
behind
inside.
You teleported inside. Ah, I do beg your pardon. You teleported inside here.
Yeah, that was. But the idea was to teleport us
inside,
right inside,
indeed.
right behind the door, meaning like right
So
onto
right
the
there
other
like
side
that,
of the door.
right?
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna move these guys out of the way here.
Out of the way.
The door. You come in, and immediately you realize this is not the right car. As
What
before
gives
you
it away?
Several large infernal machines of odd design, things that you haven't seen on Avernus before, and standing next to them, their eyes turning towards you, you see 2 enormous lizard-like creatures, immense heat emanating off of their bodies. These look like the same creatures that you met at the Wandering Emporium.
Yeah.
These are salamanders.
Samalanders.
We're still invisible, though, aren't we?
We are.
However,
They did turn to look at you.
I do beg your pardon. If you are, excuse me, we'll just undo that. If you are invisible, then they don't turn to look at you.
Okay. I was like, oh, that would be a wrinkle in the whole.
Thanks for the resub,
In the
Blue Box.
hole.
Much appreciated, John.
They are there.
The fact that the whole train top just kind of came off was like one of the coolest things I think I've ever seen, Sean.
That's
All right,
that
thank
Sean
you.
Anderson map
Zax.
technology, man.
I think I got skipped.
I do beg your pardon if that is the case. Are you at
But
18?
Yes, but I
Yes,
do have
you would
a.
gone after Typhon. Yeah.
I do have a question. I know the door is not open, so I'm not moving yet. But I think I might have. I stepped away for a second. Am I no longer with flight?
You are.
And did you ever drink a potion or have a flight spell cast upon you?
I thought that the flight spell was cast upon me, but am I misunderstanding? Did that
We
change?
screwed up, or I screwed up. So
I no longer have flight.
Yeah,
that's correct.
Okay, then I'm.
Oh.
Okay, then I am. Then I
God,
will
that would have
just-
been tragic if poor Rim would have gone like, all right.
Jump shot.
So that's the point, though. Who's taking the bug? Because we have an invisible bug.
I slurped a potion. You told me to.
Jax has the bug.
No, we
No,
handed it off to
We
someone.
summoned the bug and had the bug go invisible. That
You
was
know
part
who's
of our
got the bug?
pregame.
Blue Box RPG has the bug. That's who has the bug for gifting 5 subscriptions. Thanks so
Amazing.
much, guy.
Thank you so much,
Wow,
Blue Box
that's
RPG.
Cheers, John.
Right.
Thank you.
That makes sense. If you summon the bug, then it is there,
Yeah, it's there.
ready to be used. There's this.
Yeah.
You hear this. You don't see it; it is invisible. But there is a apparatus upon which you could fly nearby.
So
So what do you do, Rim?
What is the the bug? Oh, that's right. I see. Okay, then I will hold on to the bug and wait. The door's not open yet, so I'm not going yet, and that will
Okay.
be my held action if the door opens.
Jax, it is your turn.
I mentally messaged Falcon.
What we doing?
There is no response. Telepathy does not work.
Thumping me in the back.
What we doing?
Like, mentally do it again. Obviously, Jax doesn't know. I will just take the dodge action, as I don't really know what else Jax would do. So,
Well, you remember the plan?
well, we're in the wrong car, aren't we?
Yeah, but oh my god, the plan was to teleport in here and open the door.
Oh, okay. I'll open the door then.
Jesus.
All right. So, as the door opens, actually, as you touch the door, it is locked, Jax.
Oh, I love locks.
I will try to open it.
All right. From this side, it doesn't look like it's going to be too difficult, as it's mostly there to keep people out. But it is odd. It is complicated. There are several numbers, and you are going to need to roll a thieves' tools or sleight of hand check to figure out how to.
I love numbers. I don't know what they
Sleight of-
say, but I love them.
Sleight of hand.
I rolled a 28.
All right, so you stick a one of your thieves' tools into a seam, and there's a slight as you unlock the door. And I will say, as a free action, you can open the door. And now, as I described earlier, you hear and see the energy right below your feet. It is going to be nearly certain death if you fall. And as the door opens, these two creatures look towards the door, and one of them begins to walk towards you. But we are going to put them on the initiative order. They are going at initiative 19.
I'm
we're
assuming
gonna
I
have to go after Zelmira.
step out. I'll step out.
All right, stepping out.
There you go.
So I don't really have a spot for there, but yeah, if you're right there, that's the 5 feet in between the two. That's perfectly fine right there. There's room for 2 people to stand abreast on either side of the thing here. Do you move any further, Jax?
Well, I walk up to the next door if it's just there.
Okay, it is.
I'm assuming I can't open that.
You cannot open it on this turn. Anything else?
I'm already hidden, so I will just hide.
Okay.
Okay.
Falkern. Go ahead and roll your stealth. Jax. At advantage because of the invisibility, of course.
Yeah. Hello. 22. Should be alright.
All right. So, has anyone left yet? I know Typhon and Jax are gone. Rim, Silas, you still here?
Still here.
Silas?
Yes?
Oh, good. All right. So we're holding then.
Video.
All right. We hold. Trains.
All right, holding.
All
All right.
And that's
All right, we get to the Bone Devils, who still are not aware that anything has happened. At the end of this round, the infernal machine drops back another 50 feet. And if you could be so kind as to put yourselves on the board, on the machine where you thought you all were, and bring us back to the top of the order with Silas.
Who just donated 300 bits? So does that mean we get a D6 inspiration?
It's like a year ago.
Oh, sorry.
What happened?
We got 300 bits for a D6 inspiration.
Ooh, fantastic. D6 inspiration. Here it comes. Well, that's going to be Jax for
Oh,
D6
thank you.
inspiration. Congratulations. Silas, it is your turn, sir.
Is the bloodstone accurate where it is now? Just sorry
Yes.
for my. Okay,
It is.
Gotcha.
It's a little larger on the screen than it actually is, but if it was smaller, it would be too condensed.
Gotcha.
So I have taken my potion of flying.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to be carrying Falkren, I believe.
I think that is where things were left.
Wait, I thought
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I thought I still had the ability to fly. Was that not
Nope.
true? Lovely. Well, good. Glad to get it.
You can't fly, you can't fly, you can't fly.
You anti-Peter Pan.
Harumph.
Well, that being the case, I'm going to once again, I'm going to get ready to jump and dodge and stuff.
Okay. Very well. Let's bring us to
I can't teleport, so
You can take us to Zelmira.
Yeah, I'll prepare. I'll hold Misty Step until
Okay.
they tell me that I need to come aboard.
Very good. Holding Misty Step. Salamander comes. As it comes close to you, the heat from the body begins to wash over you, Typhon. But you do not take any damage from it. It comes over and looks at the door. Says something to the one behind it, reaches out and closes the door, and you hear as it is closed and locked. That's going to bring us to Typhon.
So did it change any of the locking mechanism? Could I just, having seen him close it and lock it, could I just simply unlock it as I would like a simple door?
Make an intelligence check. There's a little bit more to it than just lifting a latch.
Inspiration.
intelligent.
Does anybody have some to give?
16. Yes, you definitely see, based on what Jax did to disarm it, what this creature just did to close it, you definitely see how to undo it. It would going to be, I will say it is going to be, just interact with object.
Okay. I will, how are we gonna do this? There are no windows between the doors, right?
Correct.
Okay. And if one was standing here, how high up do the cars go to one side?
So are a total of 15 feet tall. So if you're
Okay.
standing there, the car is 10 feet above you.
So we're really wedged in here. If someone were visible, they wouldn't be immediately visible to those on top.
Not unless they specifically looked right down to see you, but There is a ladder right next to you on both of the cars that could lead you on to top if you needed to be.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. I will step out and just kind of like.
All right. So your interact with the
close it.
object was to unlock the door.
Yep.
Your move action is going to be to open the door. I'll say half your movement to open the door.
Closing it behind me is going to be my action. You say then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then I'll do that.
At this point, there's another. As you close the door behind you, you hear another disgruntled voice say something behind you. Anything else, Typhon?
No, this is loud out here too, right?
Very loud, yes.
Okay, so I'm going to keep special attention to when any allies come within this zone because we've instructed them to do so now, and I will hopefully we've done this before, medium creature, so I can squeeze into Jax's space here, instruct Jax to open the door to the other car here, and then wait, hoping I'm leaving a little bit of a landing for anyone who comes next, just listening and watching very carefully for when an invisible ally lands, and I will be saying, wait, and kind of thinking about the other car as soon as I think someone's landed, instructing that the other car is where we need to go. Anyway,
Alrighty.
Okay.
That brings us to Rim.
Rim is going to take his move. He's going to fly on the bug and move to that.
So those of you on the infernal machine here, and then a breeze and a deep buzzing as Rim takes off into the sky.
I think our dragon
The
just
bug
took
could
flight.
carry the other people over too. We could go one by one. There we go.
So Rim, it is barely able to hold your weight. You definitely couldn't fly with another person. But where do you go?
I will try to aim for this open spot here between the cars.
Okay. One would be curious as how you would know that now was the time, but we will perhaps bat an eye at that.
Oh, well, I suppose that's fair. Just divine intuition.
Fair enough.
He's a paladin now. He's got that. Yeah.
That's right.
Still team 6.
All things are possible with the gods.
What is my bug movement? The train is moving fast, and if I'm moving against it, I imagine I have a pretty fair.
That would be logical, but this is D&D. Your movement is static, so whatever your movement is.
Tell me what you.
I believe the bug has a flying speed of 60. Somebody confirm that for me?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so I can only move.
fly 60.
Okay, so flying 60 would take me here. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And if it moved 50 more feet, I would be close to the door. So in 2 turns, I could probably get there. So, okay, so this is getting really complicated, and I don't want to screw anything up. But if I'm flying and the train is moving fast, but the bloodstone is also moving, or how are we doing this with math?
Okay, this is what we'll do. You go 60 feet. If you are assumed to be in flight as the train moves, it will move its 50, so you'll get another 50 back. In the same way that the
okay, I didn't want to start.
I don't think that works really well with the physics, but it works. For
it doesn't, but that's perfect. Okay, then that's what I'll do.
Fair
and I didn't want to whip out my calculus skills because then this would be a really long game.
Divisions and diagrams tonight, not a.
All right, so that'll put me here in between these cars.
Very well. And that's going to bring us to Jax.
I will open this door.
It is locked.
He didn't say it was locked. I said I open it.
You didn't have the move action to open it. It's locked, sir.
I unlock it.
All right, go for it.
That's what I meant. Sleight of hand, yeah?
It's actually thieves' tools.
Thieves' tools. Do these gloves add to that?
I think they do.
Yeah.
Thieves' tools.
So basically,
Gloves of thievery.
20.
20. Good thing.
I will add to that just in case for a 22.
Alrighty. That is enough, as you are able to somehow work your thieves' tools into this thing with a click. It opens, and you are met with a blast of very cold air.
I peer in.
Inside, you see that the interior of this cart is filled with frost and ice, rimming each of the surfaces. There are 4 very large tanks splayed out 2 and 2, and in the middle is a devil identical to the one that you saw take the fuel rods that you gave to Bell away. Is large, bug-like, with a long tail, mandibles, and it turns and looks towards the door.
I sort of like wanted to open it like slightly and just to have a look. If it starts to look, I'll like just make it look like it's closed.
Oh, those are tanks.
Or have I got time to sneak in and make it look like the door's closed?
As the door opens, it turns and looks at you. It is very much on guard.
Oh, okay.
It has definitely noticed the door has been unlocked and that something is going on.
I sneak in.
Sneak in.
Nope,
What
you
were
shouldn't
you
see that.
doing, Jax? Sneaking.
Just gonna hide those for a moment. Pretend you didn't see them, if you can. In you sneak. Roll stealth. That guy is not there. He's on the roof.
31.
31. Very sneaky.
Pinch his bum as I walk past. Yes, I will move into the room and stay hidden.
Alrighty. Very cool. That is your turn, Falkren.
Well, I guess if the dragon's off, then we're next. Don't drop me. And then that's it.
Okay. So you're being prepared to be flown. Bone Devils still don't aware that anything is going on. That brings us to Silas.
Flying, using the same logic.
Yes, you just know that it is time.
Well, no, not that logic.
Well, we know because Rim left.
All right.
Logic of distance, right?
Logic of distance. Gotcha. Yes. Most
What's my
definitely.
flight speed? With
but
potion
yes,
of flight?
I believe
potion
it
of
is
flying?
60.
Yep.
60.
What is the wind velocity of a Falkren-laden paladin?
Obviously, now that it is the end of that turn, I'm going to go ahead and move this back 50 feet. Bloop, to there, as the train pulls away. Rim, you've also moved back 50 feet to here.
Lovely.
And those of you who are still on the Bloodstone, if you could put yourselves there. So now you're in the right spot, Silas.
Okay, so given my speed and the speed of the train, I have enough to get to between the two cars.
I would say yes.
Because I recall Typhon saying between the third and fourth.
Yes. And
Go
I
to
should-
between the cars. He didn't say
want
go
to
to the
make-
top. He said between the cars.
I want to make sure you all know that when you have a fly speed, that is your movement. You could move and then use your action to move again, to dash.
Dash.
So,
Well, I've got the movement and the physics to just swoop right in and land on the platform.
there
He's
you
got
go.
the power of science on his side.
And Falkren is with me.
Okay.
I can't grab Falkren. I accidentally grabbed the
Gotcha.
vehicle.
So,
But
Falkren,
if you could
you-
move yourself.
I will.
And I got it.
Put
I got
yourself
it.
on my little shoulders there.
I'm going to put
Yeah.
Falkren right there. Falkren, you are... Or sorry, I'm going to put Falkren right there. Falkren, you and Silas are squeezing into that spot.
Yeah.
Do I So I indicated that I was trying to catch anyone who went there and then direct them to the car below. Is that something that's indicated to the party now? Or
Well, the
those
door's
who have
open
arrived?
on the cold car, right?
Yes, the door is
So we
open.
would, so we would
Blast
see
of
that
open.
coming in.
Yes, indeed.
So it's like, that one.
My assumption is that Silas and Falkrin landing on the platform would alert Typhon.
There's a
Inside that one, fourth one, now with Jax.
Alrighty.
They got enough
So
movement
that
to
was
come inside.
Silas's move and action. Silas, you have a bonus action?
I think anything I do would take away invisibility, wouldn't it? Or dust of
Potentially.
disappearance? Does
Just as it
used it.
will, if an action or a spell will cause it to go away.
Or an attacker spell.
An attacker. So
Yeah,
I was
sorry,
like,
sorry, attacker
oh
spell.
God.
then I'm good. Then I'm all done.
So stealthing,
acted in
stealthing as
vain.
an action is
Yeah.
kosher, right?
Yes,
Stealthing as an
indeed.
action would be okay.
Which brings us to Zelmira.
So I can't do anything that wouldn't break invisibility to get over there. So
Unfortunately, that is the case.
yeah, I'll just stay, I guess.
Okay. So you are holding the action. I would say taking the dodge action. Salamander. Salamander is going to open the door. Look out. See that the door across the way is opened and Antuafes. Call out something. And slowly close his door. And that is its turn, which brings us to
Was that
did it say?
a translation of idiot imps? For
something like that.
invisible imps, yeah.
What has happened to our turn order? They were at the bones devils were at the end. 19. Got it. So now it is Typhon's turn. We're all set. Good.
Ah. Okay. Is there, I mean, I can step inside here. What, can you give us the general description of what's going on as I enter
Yeah,
this
so
on
you've
my
got
turn?
these tanks.
Yep.
There is ice all along the walls and along the floor and along the ceilings. It is bitterly cold inside. And you see this large insect-like devil that is standing and peering at the open door.
Okay.
Pull someone in.
Oh my goodness, there are so many things we could do. So,
Didn't you get enough of that last night?
Mm.
Just play
let's see.
Scrabble.
And I know
obvious-
that's an ice. I know that's an ice devil, by the way. Yes.
May I move in and is there an obvious way to access the tanks?
There are similar locks to it as the doors. On the
this
ends
side?
facing the interior of the car.
Gotcha. Okay. In that case, is it a bad idea? I don't know. This is hard, guys. You know, it's one of those things. It is difficult. I will look back towards whoever landed here. Sorry, I was just I don't know why I moved my token. And say, this is the place. Be ready in case Jax needs assistance. The creature is investigating. And I wonder if this does a thing. you're ruling, would Wall of Force move with the train?
I would say yes. Just because if it doesn't, it becomes incredibly complicated. Let's say that yes, it does.
Also, does sound pass through it?
Wall of Force, yes.
Okay.
That's a good question. Cat. It's a good question. I'm going to say yes for now. We'll look that up later.
Okay. Maybe dumb. All right. I am going to then. So backing up, so I'm through the door. So if anything was outside, can't see me. I'm. Damn it! I'm gonna box it up in a wall of force.
You're gonna box this car with Wall of Force. Just create.
Yeah, well, this
wall of
back
force around the
part
car.
here. So allow me to freehand this wall of force here and up to the ceiling.
I'm sorry, I have a wayward cat.
Oh, that's all right.
No way, man.
And here, so boxing him up. So that's 5, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On top of him is 7, 8. It's got to be continuous. So,
So you basically just put him in a bubble of force.
yeah, kind
All right,
of. But I was wondering.
Goes up. You need to
what else
roll,
do-
sir.
I'm now visible.
Yes, you are
on
visible.
The wild
You need
magic
to
table.
roll. Yes.
Heck yeah.
This is a different wild magic table.
87.
87. All right. How will we do this?
You cast fire, but Windsor the Ring.
Nicely. Do it nicely. We need
all
the
right.
luck.
This is where it's going to get weird.
You
All right.
feel you feel an intense pressure in your throat, and you belch out a cloud of smoke, and you are mute. You cannot make a sound. You are silenced, sir.
For how long? Do you know?
For a length of time.
Did the spell work?
It did work. And as
Now it's time for a silence.
move around and try and find the
The off button.
where he can get out. And as he does, revealing themselves at his cries are some small icicles that detach from the walls and start to fly around. He starts yelling something out to them. That's going to bring us to Rim.
All right.
I will point to. I will at the last point to Jackson, mime for him to grab the shit, basically, which is
All
clear,
right.
which is in the tanks here. So
Okay.
All right. I do believe that with my flying speed, I should be able to get into the open door, correct? And get here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That is what I will do. That should move me here without a problem.
All right. Make an
And-
acrobatics check, Rim, as you hit the ground and the floor is extremely icy. Moving at speed.
All right.
Almost fly out
Acrobatics.
from underneath you.
Gonna crack and dice this baby.
Got it.
That is a 13 plus 3 is 16.
That's good.
Okay.
16 is good.
Oh, good. That's lovely.
Just a second. Down. Just on it.
Oh my goodness. What was he hanging from?
Anyway.
No. I will, for my action, because stealth will not break my invisibility, correct?
Correct.
I'll make a stealth check. And that is a 16 plus 7 is 23.
You feel pretty stealthy.
And
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Does it seem like those methods have been alerted to our presence though? Now that the thing is.
Well, it is their turn.
Well, because I don't know, Rim, I don't know. I'm visible now plainly, so we've blown cover, and it's time to do stuff. I don't know if that changes any sort of, but anyway.
Not yet, because I have a backup plan. Considering our original plan has gone haywire, so
right.
that is my plan continuously. Yes.
So that is the end of Rim's turn. The ice methods are flying around, and the thing is saying, and it's pointing, it's gesticulating wildly at the plainly visible footprints and marks that you have left in the ice and snow on the floor here. As the methods begin to swirl around that area where Jax and Rim are, and these two come flying forward. Actually, they can't. They go flying forward and run into the wall of force, not able to move past it. These two look and point at their faces that are roughly just a large piece of ice that resembles somewhat a nose, and frost breath just comes out on both of those. Both of you can make dexterity saving throws at advantage because you are invisible.
Lovely.
That's going to be Rim and Jax, and also but Typhon, you are out of it, so you're good.
22 and 19.
22 and 19 are both successes, and so instead of the full damage, you will take half of 7 points of cold damage. I believe you are resistant, Rim.
I am, so that's only 3.
Only 3 indeed. The Ice Devil is trapped. Jax, your turn.
Completely dodging from that ice. I sneakily go and open one of the crates.
All right, they are locked.
I was hoping they were.
And I will try to unlock one with a natural 20.
Yeah.
Roll 20. You unlock it.
I stuff. How many do we need? 6.
I will need you to roll a dexterity saving throw. Actually, excuse me, a constitution saving throw, as a blast of cold air as you open it just comes over you, as cold as anything you've ever felt in your entire life.
Ooh. Oh dear, 4.
You, sir, have failed.
Ooh, brain freeze.
You take 41 points of cold damage.
Ow. Can I... what's it called? That?
Uncanny dodge it?
Yes.
I don't believe so. I think uncanny dodge has to be an attack. This is just something that happened.
Okay. So 41 damage. Ouch. Okay. I now grab 6 and stuff them in my bag.
All right, so your turn was to unlock and open. So you will have to wait till your next turn to grab them.
Okay.
It's going to bring us to Fulcrum.
Lovely. So, Fulcrum
Peter,
is...
check the chat. Sorry, keep going.
Yes. So, yeah. So Fulcrum kind of seeing that. So I can see from where I'm at, DM, that like I see Typhon is now revealed. Right. What?
He's now revealed, and he's choking. You see black smoke coming from his mouth as he's trying to speak.
All right. So I'm going to move up to here, and then is DM, does this put me into the ice room as of yet, or am I still in the doorway?
Yeah, now that you're touching the edge there, you are definitely in the ice room. As technically Typhon would be too, but since the graphic doesn't move to over there, we will allow that.
Understandable. Okay, cool. So, all right. Am I able to? So as I'm moving in, I'm just trying to check in on Jax and Rim, or I guess
Rim and Jax are both invisible.
Right. So that's what I'm seeing right now.
Something's happening. Jax has moved to here. So Jax, I'm going to put you right about there. Right on the edge of the force wall of force that Typhon has up.
All right. And then am I able to see that like there's a canister
There's
open?
There's a huge blast of cold air coming out of an open canister that's just swirling around the center of this area.
Okay.
You can hear Steve chattering.
All right. So if I move, I can't move past the methods though, can
I? No.
Well, shucks.
You could actually, yeah. There's a space there. You could move past him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm gonna attempt to move. So that was
to try not to forget Zamira, guys. Send a bug back for her or something.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. 15, 20, 25 puts me there.
Okay.
Am I able to see the rods to grab them, or?
They are open. Yeah, there are 4 rows of 3.
All right.
They're each about the size of a French baguette. You're able to gather. I would say you'd be able to gather 3 with an action.
Okay. But we want to put them into Jax's bag, and me trying to find Jax's bag while he's invisible is going to
will be pretty hard.
An absolute absurdity test. 7 hells. And so let's see here.
Actually, it's 9 hells. 7 hells would be a
reference to the Game of Thrones fandom, which clearly is not applicable here.
All right. So then, just because the world is the world. Yeah. Fuck it. Say let's do some shit. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna summon my spiritual weapon.
Alrighty.
So summon the spiritual weapon to hit the ice fuck in front of me. So
careful,
which is the technical
Jax
term.
looks like an ice memfit now.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll summon Steve into that.
That's from Memphis.
Memphis. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw Quietus. So using my action, I'm going to attack and then use my bonus action to hit again. So,
right.
Sean, is this Quietus the actual Quietus? So
no, I'm sorry. Quietus is still completely gefucked.
Okay. So because I know that I did not have a +6 to attack with that weapon.
You could go ahead and roll, and it's a +1 on top of your both your damage and your attack roll.
Dig it. Okay, so just roll an attack.
Yes, indeed.
All right.
Something I need to put back on the list.
Should I just use I'll just use my hand axe for that to hit, or?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, lovely. All right then. So roll that to see if that hits. Survey says, 27, 28 to hit.
Yep, it definitely hits. You swatted this thing, and of course, as you cast the spell, you're no longer invisible. By the way,
absolutely, yes.
You'd get your attack at advantage though if you do that first.
No, in order to cast the spell, he casts in the attack. He's visible.
Because that's the thing is, I went, oh hells, and then boom, and I summoned Steve and then attacked. So and then the damage on this is currently a 2d6 + 6, but that's not real.
That's not right. So it belongs toward his 1d8.
So 1d8 or a 1d10,
but
1d8 because I've got
right.
I've got things. So the 1d8. Let me just roll that. Plus.
You're like Gandalf now with a sword and.
Pretty much, absolutely, yeah. That's about the right.
Keep in mind that you don't have your shield then for AC.
It's animated.
Well, now, so by having my so if I don't have my shield in my hand, so I can transfer the staff to my hand with my shield and then draw quietus.
Yeah, you have to have your shield, and then the way D&D works, if you have a shield in one hand, you can't have a weapon in that hand. Unfortunately.
Interesting. All right then. All right. So where was I? So the 1d8 plus my strength, which is the 4. So plus the 1. So that's 6 plus 5, right? Right?
Yep, 6 plus 5.
And then because I almost never get to do it, I'm going to go ahead and do a divine strike. So whenever you, on each of your turns, when you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can cause the attack to deal an extra 1d8 radiant damage, which I roll now. And it is 4. Lovely. So that was 6 plus 5 plus 4.
15.
There you go.
Got it.
Plus Steve.
Plus Steve.
Plus Steve. What did Steve
Plus
do?
Steve. All right. So doing some stuff. Hitting things. All right. So Steve comes in. And he does something.
That hits.
Ooh. With a 15? Okay, great. He just,
and that destroys the ice method, which explodes. And as it does, those of you around it, I need to make a dexterity saving throw.
Alrighty.
Define around.
Oh, sorry. Within 5 feet of it.
All right, so I'll be rimming myself.
That would not be an added advantage, I assume, correct? Well, it doesn't matter. 25.
25? You're good? And Falkren?
Oh, yes. I'm saying. Working on it. There we go. Coming in at a 9. I'm going to go ahead and use my D6.
Okay.
To add to that. Oh! The 6 is 15.
All right. You blast the ice shards away as they come for your face. You have successfully dodged them. Is that your turn done, Falkren?
That is my turn done.
All right. Friends, at the end of this turn, as the Bloodstone and Zelmira move closer, as the train pulls away, moves to here, we're going to call tonight's session and resume here in a week, picking up where we left off, right here, as the companions here, the Conscript Group 14, attempt to get away with their prize. There's quite a lot going on, and we will see how it all pans out next time.
Hopefully we won't
We're
derail.
at our time, and so we will say goodbye to them for now. But of course,